If there was one thing the world was asking for, it was for one more podcast about CrossFit. Well, here we are anyways. This is the Silverback Media Podcast, where we share the stories of the everyday CrossFitter, so that more people are encouraged and empowered to try it themselves. Here's your host and everyday CrossFitter, Marco Mejia.
What is happening, Silverback Media crew? We are back with a very special guest this week. She has come onto the CrossFit scene on social media over recent weeks as she just recently started CrossFit, and she goes by the Instagram account name when_nerds_teach. You may have seen her reels on social media being shared as she films her reactions immediately after finishing a CrossFit workout from inside of her car. For those of us that have been doing CrossFit for a long time, it's a great reminder of what it's like to when you first start CrossFit. So she's done a great job sharing that side of her own experience as she just started CrossFit about a month ago. In this episode, we talk through her backstory, her struggles with body image issues as she was growing up, her struggles with nutrition, and how all those things ultimately led her to walking into a CrossFit gym, and how she wants to benefit from engaging in CrossFit, and how she wants to translate that into being able to help her community around her. So this is a great conversation. I appreciate her for sharing her backstory and being so willing to share. She trains at a CrossFit Tantrum in Pennsylvania. So if you're in that area and want to go catch a workout with her, that's where you can find her at CrossFit Tantrum. Now, that's enough from me. This is going to be 9 down and 10,000 to go. And let's go to the show.
Okay, here we are. Dr. Fatty Acid, aka When Nerds Teach, with a couple underscores in there. Hello.
Hello.
All right, so I want to give you a virtual fist bump because I think I hear that getting used to this. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna start it off now. So let's go back. I obviously, you've kind of come in on social media. You've, we'll say, infiltrated the CrossFit space. But I think it's been such a cool and refreshing take to hear from you, and your just real-time reactions to your workouts. It's so funny because you're saying what we're all thinking, right?
Well, it also motivates me because I'm like, after each workout, I'm like, better make my video, and then I get attention from it. So it's just another layer of motivation for me to keep going,
Nice. I like it. Yeah, it's self-reinforcing, right? So,
yeah.
So let's rewind the clock a little bit, right? So, I think one of your reels, you talked about how the extent of your physical activity growing up was some little league softball activity. Was that? I mean, you mentioned it there, but what were you into growing up? Was whether it was physical activity, what were you into while you were growing up?
Well, I mean, in preschool, I did ballet.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I have a great photo of me in a cotton candy themed outfit. And I really committed to the dance. So I think that probably a missed opportunity for the future. I probably could have been famous by now. I think that through most of my childhood, I just really valued my leisure time. So anything that might interrupt that, like, I don't know, practicing something, not super into it. I loved reading. I loved just like hanging out. I mean, I did enjoy the summer softball. Like, it was kind of a big thing in my town. The Y was pretty big, and each team would have like sponsors. And I even had like photos taken, like with the baseball bat, like totally unearned. I think I did
you were
recreational.
On the team. It's earned to some extent. It's earned, right?
Some of us earned it more than others. I'll tell you that right now. So, I remember playing basketball as like a 6th grader, which I'm 5'1", so I should really paint that picture for you. But I had gumption, and you didn't have to try out, so it was great. So that was pretty fun. I still remember, actually, before coming on this podcast, I was trying to think of a perfect example of me athletically as a kid. One, in elementary school, I remember getting an award. I think I was in 5th grade for most improved mile because I went from 21-minute to a 14-minute mile.
Hey,
sure. Oh, mm-hmm.
What? That's like a 30% decrease, right? Just doing quick math in my head.
What a great number I started with. I made sure the baseline was so terrible that no matter what I did, I had to be most improved, which has really been a philosophy of my life. And I've taken that into my career. But I also remember at one point, I got invited to like I don't have any significant physical disabilities, but I'm pretty sure I was invited to an adapted gym class. And I don't,
Oh.
I remember going to a special gym class, and it was only a couple of us. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And, looking back on it as a teacher now, I'm like, okay, they were worried about you. They were like, she just wants to do nothing. So that really, and it's not, here's the thing. I have two really athletic parents. Like, my mom was a basketball player. She did volleyball as an adult. Like, my dad was a gymnast.
Wow.
So I don't know if it was a form of rebellion or what, but I was like, no, I'm good. Like, and
did
then
they try to, because I mean, it sounds like you got
my parents, they were
involved in
like,
certain things.
he doesn't seem to love it. Like, I remember my dad trying to help me practice for softball, and I was like, this is a bummer. And he was like, I don't feel like trying to make you love this. And I'm like, good. So I would say, and then in high school, I did like stage crew for the musical. Like, I had my nerd friends, and I kind of realized, like, I liked going to games. I like cheering games on. I actually get very emotional. Like, I go to my students' games now, and I get real into it. Like, I have a real value for sports. Like, I think I love cheering on athletes.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be on the other side. Like, I love, oh, yeah. Even at CrossFit, like, I was trying to explain, and I know you're going to ask me about how I got into it, but I have a friend who's really into it, and she's really competitive. I don't have whatever gene that is. Like, I don't have it. I think I did when I was younger about academics, and then I realized that again, leisure time is more important. So I just was like, no, I'm good. But when I'm at CrossFit and I watch other people, like, if they have huge weights on, I'm like, hell yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm staring at them too long. Like, I'm like, especially if it's a woman and I'm like super impressed, I'm like, yeah. But I don't think I'm going to also get that weight. I go, that's great for her.
You're like, great job. That's
her.
awesome. That looks
Yeah,
like, so you're
I'm
like,
not,
that
that
looks like
doesn't
so much fun.
motivate me to like add more. I'm like, no, I love that. You're doing great.
That goes with that support piece. And so, and like you said, right, that kind of leads me to where I wanted to. So where I wanted to go next was like, as you were growing up, right, leisure time priority, right? At some point, you got the itch, you got the urge to try CrossFit or to join a CrossFit gym. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
So
mean, just so you know, like,
yeah.
now I'm 40.
Okay.
So, like, I'm starting CrossFit at the ripe age of 40. Actually, I ended up going there on my 40th birthday because I had to cancel the day before. And then I was like, guess I'll go on my birthday. And there was someone else at the gym who that's her birthday. And she was, well, I don't know if she was turning 40, but that'd be crazy actually. But yeah, we have the same birthday. Anywho, I would say, like, athletics wise, what it really came down to is I used to be, and I know I messaged you about this, like, kind of like really deep in diet culture. So I started in grad school Weight Watchers because I was like becoming concerned about my weight or like obsessing about it. And I was successful at Weight Watchers. I ended up becoming like a lifetime member. Like, if you keep off the weight and maintain for a certain amount. No, it's not. I'm not celebrating that. I was eating nothing. Like, I truly was like starving myself, but it felt justified because it was like a point system. And I wasn't like, I couldn't physically do a lot because like I wasn't strong, but I was smaller. So that like really, that messed me up for a while. I signed myself up for the program. It's not like anyone like held me at gunpoint. It was like, you're going to Weight Watchers. Like, no one in my family was like, you better go. So it was all self-imposed. But that, after I got away from that and I kind of, I learned about this book called Body Kindness, which is great for kind of like deprogramming yourself with diet culture stuff. I went to see a local, I think she's technically a nutritionist, but I called it food therapy because she was more about teaching you about intuitive eating and like reading your body to know when you're actually full. And like, because I've always had binge eating issues. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. And it was actually through talking with her and my other therapist at the time that I figured out that when I was younger, when my anxiety was really high, I would lose my appetite. And I would it wasn't too, there were times where like I maybe wouldn't eat for a day, but there were a couple of times in my childhood for like week-long stints that I would like not be able to eat. So then my brain, this is kind of what I theorize. I haven't like fully, but it makes sense to me. My brain kind of theorized when you feel good, you eat what you can because you don't know when the anxiety is going to come back. So like load up while you can, because when you get anxious, you're not going to eat. So then that kind of like built in this like binge eating kind of thing. And then I got on medication. I take Zoloft. And then I didn't have the anxiety, but I just kept binging. And my body was like, you feel great. A lot more now.
Time to
and I'm like, phenomenal.
Sorry, real quick. Was that before or after the Weight Watchers piece? I'm sorry if I missed that.
Oh, no. I went on, this is like, that would have been when I was in high school. Like I went on Zoloft at age 18. I've been on it since then.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So that was the 18. Okay. And then the Weight Watchers you said was grad school. So that was probably, I'm trying to kind of follow the time. Okay.
Yeah. So that actually if it makes sense, like I started, like my anxiety was lower. So then the binge eating's still happening. Then I get to a certain point where I'm like, I want to do something about it. I find Weight Watchers. There's another unhealthy way to do it. And then, and then I got pregnant. And for the first time in forever, I felt like I could eat without feeling guilty. And I hadn't experienced that in a very long, like since I could remember.
Yeah.
So
it was almost like hey, I'm pregnant. I'm growing.
Oh, I gained
growing a baby, right?
I gained 60 pounds, which listen, and I'm not trying to put out numbers. This is a way to shame myself or anything. It's whatever. It just is what it is. But the baby wasn't 60. You know what I'm saying? So my body like changed significantly, which was really hard on my image, my body image again. But that's, being a teen that grew up in the 2000s, they really put a lot in our heads that didn't need to be there.
I mean, well, I think that's very common. Obviously, I wasn't a teenage girl growing up in the 2000s, but now, so now after like having some of these conversations, right, it's like, oh, that was very prevalent, right? So like to hear,
well, yeah, because they would show pictures of Britney Spears and be like, look at this fatty, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah, right.
They're like, Jessica Simpson, what a fat pig, and I'm like, oh my god. So then I swear this is all connected to actually working out.
No, we're getting there. I know.
But so then my body was so different, and then I just felt like so bogged down. And postpartum is always like, it's already a hot mess because your body's like freaking. And that's when I went with the nutritionist. So like timeline wise, like I didn't go to the nutritionist until like after a couple of years where I was like, I need to do something because like hating myself is
and that was so Weight Watchers kind of took you up until you got pregnant, essentially.
No, I would say I kind of was in an okay spot post Weight Watchers, and then I kind of stopped doing the counting, so I was kind of okay for like a couple of years. Like when my husband and I first met, I was doing all right, and then pregnancy happened, which like really changed my body in a lot of ways, which then started me on like down another path.
Gotcha.
So, after doing intuitive eating, doing all this, I also stopped weighing myself because I realized that knowing that number never did anything.
Yeah.
It never anything positive, even if it went down, because then I'd start fixating on it again. It was nothing. So then I said, I just want to feel stronger. So in my studying of like intuitive eating and body kindness, I was like, I only want change based off of how I feel, not how I look. Which actually kind of gravitated me. I'm assuming you've heard of like body positivity.
Yeah. Yes.
But then I've also found body neutrality.
Okay.
Which is like your body.
I haven't heard
your
that.
body. I'm gonna like butcher the definition of it, but this is what made sense in my head. But your body is just your body. There's no good or bad. There's no moral. So it's not even that like, oh, I look good. Looking in a certain way doesn't have to do anything.
Like it just is, right? Like
it's basically it's just like function. Your body is there to function.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that. Yeah.
I feel like that even kind of drawn me in more because I was like, I just need to remove anything with the looks of it.
Yes.
So I just wanted to do. So then I started. I actually found a gym by me and started doing weight training classes.
Okay. Okay.
Some of them at
Was this
5
like,
a.m., which I would never.
look, all I'm gonna say, I know it sounds crazy, right? I'm the person that coaches those classes, which
Mm-mm.
is a whole different animal. I watch people walk in the gym and now we have a 5:30 a.m. But that 30 minutes isn't really making that big of a difference. But you watch people walk in, and it's like, all right, you're here. Let's do this thing, right? Sun's not even out yet. Let's sling some weights, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's fine. I at the time I taught elementary, so my start time was later.
mhm,
So I
mhm.
could fit it in, come home. And there were things about that I liked, but I realized that I loved lifting weights because I've always hated cardio. My husband used to love running. He was like, all I want is for you to run with me. And I was like, you can want a lot. There's a lot I'm bringing to the relationship. It's not going to be that. And I need you to know that. I did try it for like a little bit, but it's a lot. I don't know. I just couldn't. I'm like, no, where's that runner's high or whatever? It's just a lie. So, I just stay. I
So
was
what
like,
did you
oh,
enjoy? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I
Finish
was
that
gonna
thought.
say. So, like, that's why weight training like was so appealing to me because it wasn't
Yeah.
cardio. I mean, there might be a little bit, but it was very little. And I was like, ooh, I just want to lift heavy stuff.
Yeah. So
Like,
what
I
kind of
was feeling
movements were you doing
that.
in those classes? Was it like, typical squat, bench, deadlift?
Yeah.
What,
So
like
it was
what
like,
types of
what's it called? Like secular. That's not the word. Like a cycle.
Oh, goodness.
Circuit.
Circuit. Yes. I'm
I'm
like,
like,
oh
you
God.
go like
I'm like, it's
this.
with a C.
Yeah. So we would do circuit stuff. They'd have us do stuff that made
Okay.
me giggle, like taking a sledgehammer and like hitting a big
Mhm.
tire.
Yeah.
Um, which I thought was fun. I also like the giant ropes that you do like this.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
always try to think of how an exercise mimics a real life movement. And I'm like, what is this
Yeah.
for? Like
That's it.
dog
I,
sleds.
I can I can tell you it's for when you're on the dance floor, right? When you're out on the dance
Okay.
floor and you need to get yes, that is not what it's for. Even
Well,
though
I'm usually
it
the
would
only
do
one.
well
I'm
with
I'm the one like yelling at kids on the dance floor. So I really have
you.
shifted. I will dance, but now it's middle school dances. So it's usually just me being like, get away from each other. Um,
Okay, so we've had the weight. So now you've started the weight training class. I guess I had one other question for you. So on
yeah,
the intuitive eating piece and the food therapist that you said you
right.
were working with, right? I'm sure that wasn't you said that wasn't necessarily the title, but that's kind of like
No,
what
that's what I called
you
it.
look. Yeah. What was it was a lot about intuitive eating. What do you think was the big takeaway for you that made that stick? Like whatever kind of method you were working on with that nutritionist or whatever tactics or habits you were building through that. Like, what do you think was the big lesson you learned from that?
A big takeaway was examining like which environments kind of triggered my binge eating the most and
Mm,
kind of attacking that. Um, in the book Body Kindness, I remember one of the phrases that really stuck with me that I'm not sure I'm remembering it right, but this is the basic idea is you can't hate yourself healthy.
mm.
So, and
Oh,
that really kind
that's a
of,
good one.
yeah, like that really like pulled a lot of like, where I was like, I have to move away from shame-based motivation.
Yeah. Oh my
Like, because
goodness.
it's
Oh,
it's never ended well for me. So like, why would I continue a cycle that's not working?
yeah.
Um, and then she really helped me understand, like, really to think about like how am I feeling as I eat? Like what does fullness feel like? Um, and I think even just getting me to stop, like I said, stop weighing myself, that made a huge difference. Like not knowing my actual weight just made me
Mm.
more conscious of thinking about how my body felt. Like
Yeah.
what things
Yeah.
can I do with this body as opposed to what does this body look like? I'm not saying I got rid of all the body image issues. I mean, I still struggle
Sure.
with them even today. Because I think it's going to take a very long time to undo everything that like society pushes on people, especially young girls.
Yeah.
But those were the big takeaways. I think she and I talked a lot. She was so sweet. It also just made me okay to talk about food because my poor
Mm.
husband, like anytime food was brought up, like I just felt so much shame about it that like we couldn't even like he couldn't even bring it up in conversation or I would just explode.
In what context? Because obviously, I'm sure it's not a conversation. So
um
I'm sure it's not conversations of like, hey, what do you want for dinner? And that, or maybe it is. I don't know. I
Sometimes
guess
though,
I'm trying to
I'll be
picture.
honest
Yeah.
with you, him asking me what are we doing for dinner or what do you want for dinner was sometimes enough to set me off.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Because
Okay.
he dealt with a lot. He's a blessing. He's so patient. He don't worry. He brings a lot of garbage too. It's fine. It balances out. But it just like I just couldn't like I thought about food so often that any outside influence bringing up that topic just made me so angry.
Yeah.
Because in my head, and again, that's part of my OCD too, because I don't have the compulsions. I only have the obsessive thinking. That I was like, I've done enough thinking about it. I don't need you bringing it up too.
Right.
Which is not his fault. It's a very good question.
Yeah.
And then if he's like, well, how about
it all day? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, I don't care what we do. In fact, let's starve or, just something healthy. But that's kind of what, like, talking with her made me feel more comfortable, even like broaching the subject, which was a big help.
Oh my goodness, I can imagine. And that line you mentioned, and I don't know if that was like maybe a direct quote from her, just kind of how you picked up on it, that you can't hate yourself healthy. That's very powerful.
It is. That's from the book Body Kindness, which I do not remember.
Oh yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes. But she's the one who introduced me to that book. She was like, you need to get this book and read it. And like, it was really eye-opening.
Yeah. And I was just having a conversation with somebody about that. And it was not like specific to that person, but we're more just talking about this idea of like, if you thought about like, and I mean, you tell me if this is something you relate to, right? Being in those situations or in that time of your life where maybe just you have all these thoughts and just the way you talk to yourself in your head or talk about yourself in your head. And we were talking about like, if you had a friend, another person that talked to you in that way, you're like, I don't think I'm going to hang out with that person anymore. Yeah. Right? Like they just don't seem like a very good influence or a very good person to be around. So, but it's interesting how we will do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
For stretches of time too. So I don't know if that's something that you kind of, felt with that too, but I feel like that quote or that line really, is very, very relevant or related to that.
I think self-talk is very much interwoven in that. I think too, when you brought up like to a friend, I think people and therapists sometimes say like, would you say it to younger you? Like if I were little kid me.
Yeah.
Like, would I say that to her? No. She's just a baby.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
yeah. No, that's great to talk. And thank you for sharing all that
yeah,
too.
I love talking about myself. That's why when you messaged and you were like, it's probably a long shot, I'm like, actually, I'm always geared up to be interviewed. Actually,
it was so funny because I remember reading that and I'm like, is that sarcasm? Because I'm like, it was real though. It was real. No, it is great. It's great. It's a awesome story to share. Okay, so now let's kind of fast forward again. So now you've been doing the weight training classes, right?
Yes. And I found out. Training. I am so sorry. I have a really bad habit of I start talking while people are still going, and I'm very sorry about that.
I do the same. This is going to be a great interview for people to listen to. Just us talking over each other.
They're like, I'm not overstimulated at all. I found out that gym had personal training, and I'm very blessed and privileged in that I could look into that, even though it is more expensive. Because these things aren't cheap. Like they're not like financially, accessible to everyone. So I was like, ooh, one-on-one time, that might be cool. So then I did that for like a year and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because let me tell you what, an audience of one who's paid to be there. And I love to gossip. So I was like, I'm like lifting weights, but also like, well, how is your wife? Well, how'd her surgery go? I'm like, so I would just eat that up. Anytime they got a new trainer in, I'm like, sign them up with me. Let's see how it goes. They're like, I don't know. They're pretty quiet. I go, for now.
I'm like, that's not going to last long. Yeah.
3 seconds in, I find out they're like talking to a girl that they're into. And I'm like, tell me more.
At some point, they're like, hey, wait a second. You've been resting for 7 minutes. Come on. We got.
God, time flies. Now, I will say I did want to actually get stronger. Like I was motivated. So I would be lifting and talking at the same time. But we probably could have fit in more. I'm not going to lie. We probably could have fit in.
Hey, quick interruption from me. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you are, I have a favor to ask of you. The main way that this thing can continue to spread is through word of mouth. So if you're enjoying this episode, send it to someone or share it with someone that may benefit from it or enjoy it as well. Leave a comment, drop a 5-star review, follow the show, share about it on social media. That's the main way that we can help get this message out to others so we can continue to spread this, okay? I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And now let's get back to the show.
More. But so after that, I was like, maybe I could do this by myself. I felt confident that the biggest draw for me with personal training is that as a teacher, you get so tired with decisions because your day, your whole work day is, and I know people think it's an exaggeration, but you're like making 5 decisions simultaneously all the time. Because you have to keep kids safe. They have to learn. You have to be aware of what they're all doing at the same time. Because not all of them want to be there, which is justifiable. They're like 11. So I wanted to just show up for an hour and someone tell me everything. Like I didn't want to go to the gym and be like, what? The idea of, first of all, I've always hated meal prepping, the idea of having to think ahead about what I eat. And to the plan exercises, like absolutely not. But then after a long time, I was like, you know what? I knew that financially, I was like, maybe we don't need to be spending this. I could probably do it myself.
Yeah.
And then I tried it, but I just won't go.
Yeah.
I just won't go. If
Knowing
I'm by
that
myself,
somebody's there. Yes.
Yeah. And like, I could have gone like, if my husband and I were to go together, it's like, then what's Sarah, our daughter gonna do? Just like hang out. I mean to just say her name, but it doesn't matter. Like, so I'm just by myself and I don't like this. So then I kind of fell off of that. Then I started Wegovy, which is like the semi-glutide, because I was diagnosed with fatty liver, which if you're unfamiliar, very funny name for something like we could have branded that differently, I think. But it literally is having a bunch of extra fat on your liver. So I kind of get it. But it's
which name is sillier? Which name is sillier?
Fatty acid or fatty liver?
Fatty acid, fatty liver, or
like a cutting to it. Like I might fight you. I don't know. But if fatty liver gets bad enough, it can become like non-alcoholic cirrhosis, basically.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't really drink. So it really just came from, I don't have my gallbladder. And it just came from, they kept telling me to eat certain things.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I don't really love other people's ideas. But so then I started on Wegovy and like I was so exhausted that I couldn't like even, because it slows down your digestive system.
Yeah.
So I was just so tired all the time.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to the gym anyway. So then, once my body kind of adjusted and I realized like, I paid more attention. I've been messing with food a lot in my life, but I also went to a dietitian who did this hair follicle test. I don't know if it's real, but I thought it was fun. Listen, who knows? But they plucked out like 15 hairs, like to the root, and then they sent them to a lab and they give you a list of all the food your body's not digesting.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So it's very specific to you.
Okay.
Don't ask me what it's called. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's been peer researched. I don't know. But because it was based off of just me, I listened to it more.
Interesting.
So like, even though with fatty liver, they said, here's what you should be doing. I was like, well, that's in general, right? And then
that's what you say. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, that might work for someone, but I'm special. No, but this list was just for me. And one of the big hitters was wheat.
Oh, okay. Like gluten or wheat in general?
Well, wait, what'd you say?
Sorry, I asked if it was like gluten specific. Was it like gluten
pretty much gluten. So I kind of knew that because I've been having really bad heartburn issues and I never felt good after having too much. But I didn't want to know the truth because the truth seems sad. So after I got that list, I actually committed and I went, by the way, my timeline's off a little bit. This is like a year before I even started Wegovy. But I went gluten-free. And then I felt a lot better.
Nice. Good.
So, and my liver started getting a little bit better, but it wasn't like all the way.
Yeah.
Now the liver is really impressive in that it will heal itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew um, if I got it together, like now was the time to do it before it reached a level that it couldn't heal itself.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about, I didn't listen to all of it, but most of the episode that you had, the last one that you put out about the motivation of kids.
Yeah.
And
With
my
Nick.
mom had made this comment to me, which she's like devastated to know it hit me this hard, but she goes, I mean, what do you think would happen if like your husband and daughter were just by themselves because you weren't there? Okay.
Oh.
Whoa. So that freaked me out.
Yeah.
So then that led
It's
me
like
to
you didn't have to hit me with that kind of truth.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Goodness
a little
gracious.
much. But so then I went to the doctor and I asked about, one of the shots, like, is it something I should even look into? I was real hesitant because I had also felt like negatively about them, or it just felt too much like I was so afraid I was going to slip back into caring what I looked like.
Oh.
That if my focus that if these shots are just about losing weight and if that was my focus, then I'd slip back into everything I had worked so hard to get away from.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But, the doctor told me Wegovy has shown like positive effects for fatty liver specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, at this point, why not? So again, that made me real tired. I stopped going to the gym. I finally was at a space that I started feeling better, and like summer hit and I was like, I need to get back out there. Like, I know I can do it. I know I feel better mentally, physically. I like being able to do stuff. My friend who I work with is really into CrossFit in the town that I teach in. Okay. And she would always tell us about it and be like, you should come to the Bring a Friend. And I was like, no. She was like, I know it sounds like a cult. And I'm like, yeah.
That's that old joke, right? It's like, how do you know that somebody does CrossFit? It's like, because they'll tell you.
Yeah. And she doesn't even bring it up. Like, we're just always impressed with what she can do. And like, so we bring it up. She does just because we're really proud of her. But so I was like, oh, fine. So I like Googled CrossFit near me. And found a place, and it was like, you can come for the first for free. Then I was like, okay, I guess. Then I signed up for like a free class. I was like, this is not going to go well.
So real quick, so you said you had a coworker that did CrossFit. So based off of hearing, whatever she talked about or what people asked her about, what did you think about CrossFit? Was that all you had heard about CrossFit before then? Had it come up in your work in any other way? Okay. What did you think about it based off of like what the things she would tell you guys or whatever it was?
I think what I always associated with is like social media, people posting like transformation pictures. Wearing the merch of their CrossFit gym.
Mm-hmm. As I have a shirt on from the gym.
No, merch is fine.
I have a shirt and a hat, but no, it's okay.
No, listen, get your money. I don't care. But no, just more. It was more so like, look at how my body has transformed.
Yeah.
So I think all I had ever gotten up to that was like the aesthetic of it. So not even seeing the workouts.
Yeah.
Maybe the like doing the cleans. I had seen that. And I knew it had more cardio than what I had done with weight training, but like I was like, well, I don't know how much it could be. She just seemed to really enjoy it. She felt like the people she was with, and I really respect her. And she's not someone who would tell me to try something if she thought I would hate it, because most of my friends know me. They're like, that's a lost cause. She was like, no, give it a try. So like I said, I found the place near me and I went. It was on a Saturday morning, 8:30 a.m. Didn't love that.
Nice. Well, that's better than the 5 a.m. The 5 a.m. weight training classes.
They would have never seen me. For the free one, they're not trying to pick people out before they even start. So he was super kind. Some of the exercises I knew, which was really good for me because I don't deal well with things that that I don't have prior knowledge of.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I think I'm just going to bomb it completely from the beginning, I'm not, the most motivated, which I've passed on to my kid, which is not great. We'll work through it.
And
But
I
he
think
showed
you've
me all the
mentioned something
stuff
about
and huh?
you've mentioned something about that with like the vocabulary of CrossFit and
Oh,
getting used to that, the terms and things too. So I tell people, I'm like, look, you need to try it at least long enough that you come into a class, look at the board, and say, I understand everything that's on there. So, like, until you get to that point, or not that I can do everything, but I can read it and be like, I know what we're gonna do. I know what the plan is for today.
well, and I don't know if it's because I teach middle school, so like it's just, kids constantly say stuff that they think's gonna upset me, but like I don't really care how I'm perceived that much. So if I don't know it, I'm just gonna be like, what is that?
Yeah.
Or, I've been to, I think today will be my 15th class.
All
And
right.
um if I don't know something, I just wait until he's done talking. And then I'm like,
Mm.
okay, one, what is that? And then he usually tells me and I go, I'm not doing that. So what's an alternate? And then sometimes even with the alternate, I'm like,
I'm like, still dicey. Still not sure.
well, I do a pull up. I'm like, I'm pulling up a lot more than these other people. I don't know what and I got tiny hands, please.
So what was
Um,
that first? So what was? Do you remember the first workout? I know you mentioned that there was some exercises in there that you had done before. Do you remember what the workout was?
the intro session is basically like 30 minutes of like, here's some terminology, here's some stuff. Cause it's not like there's not a class going on. So you can't really like watch it as it's happening. It was like open gym time. Just a couple, here's some equipment that we use, here's what could happen. Um, and it didn't seem too overwhelming. And again, I don't really, it doesn't bother me to look potentially stupid. So I was like, yeah, I did like a 15 class punch card because I was like, knowing me, like, I don't want to buy into more than that, even if it's a quote better deal, just for me, until I know that like I'm really going to enjoy it. Like now I'm
Yeah.
switching over to unlimited because I'm like, well, obviously I've been going like 3 times a week. So, might as well. And
Yeah.
I made sure to pick the class that would be the one I'd go to even during the school year.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you
So
didn't have to
it's
change
the
up your
same group of
schedule
people.
later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is so kind. It's like, they're so excited to like for a new person to be there.
Yeah.
They're like, which again does reinforce the cult vibes a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, it's a lot, it's positive, it's positivity, it's great. But everyone's like asking your name and they're like, oh, I'm this, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember any of this, but that's great. And they're always like, you did a great job, and I'm like,
Like,
your
yeah.
standards are low.
Like,
Um, but it's just, which again I love.
it
Because I
is.
only
Yeah.
respond to positive praise. That's the one thing the
Yeah.
coach had to learn with me. Like, I'm not someone that you can be like, oh, is that really enough? When I'm going to do less, actually. Um, which teachers are usually very bad students, so I'm not great with
And
feedback.
I will say, and I'll tell anybody this too, right? If you go to a CrossFit gym and that's the type of feedback that you get, find a different one, right?
But see,
If
my
you're getting the
friend who,
negative, if you get the negative feedback, it's not. And again, to your point, right? Some people may hear that and thrive on it. It's
oh,
not a
my
lot of
friend loves
people.
it. She thinks it's so fun, and I'm like, I would not respond well to that at all.
Yeah, like if I'm saying that to anybody in one of my classes, it's a joke, and I'm very sure that they know it's a joke. I'm
Oh,
not. You know what I mean? Like that's
every coach that I've met at this gym is just so happy for people wanting to like move their bodies. I mean, that's the vibe I get. Like, and I love
100%.
that there are no mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I don't love that there's no AC. I get it. It's basically a giant warehouse with like two big garage doors.
Yeah.
Is basically what this gym is. I don't know if that's all CrossFit. That's
It's
this.
a lot of CrossFit
It's a
gyms.
lot of warehouse. It's a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
It's a lot of warehouse, and yeah. Look, you're preaching to the choir here. I'm in
Very
Phoenix,
industrial.
and yeah, industrial with a couple fans in the building, and we have a decent amount of fans. But you pop that garage door open, and it's like, hey, look, it's still 112 outside. I don't care
Well,
how many
yeah, and
fans we got.
you're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. So
couldn't
it's like,
you couldn't there's no way. There, because I'm in Pennsylvania and it's so humid this summer.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's different.
it's if you because my brother lives in Las Vegas and it's like it's a dry heat. I'm like it's 110. I still hate my life. Um, if you because I know you said you study my videos, so I take
Mhm.
Zoloft. It stops you from regulating your heat,
Mhm.
which is part of the reason after every video I'm like blotchy. It's like severe rosacea happening.
I saw that first video and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah,
But that I
I'm
didn't even
aware.
like I knew Zoloft made it so that I got sunburnt easier, which is not great because with my like, Welsh German background, I already wasn't, batting 1,000. So, but I didn't even know about the sweating that it could like. So I
Yeah,
try to watch myself. I mean, I'm pretty, I'm 40 now. I know my body enough where I'm like, if they tell me to do 7 sets and I do 5, that's great for me because the
yeah,
baseline is I just wouldn't be here.
right.
So
Yeah,
like
it's better
it's
than
not
nothing,
me
right?
versus how I did last time. It's me versus if I didn't come,
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I did
100%. Right.
nothing.
And I
Um,
say that's like you joked about the fist bumps, right? And but I look at that as the especially at the end of class or whether it's during class or whatever it is, right? It's a mini celebration of effort, right?
oh
Versus
yeah,
outcome, right? It's like, hey, you're here, you're working in whatever way that means for you for the workout that we have today. You're putting in the work, you get a fist bump, right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's grown on me. It
Yeah,
really has. Also the coach like checking in on each person
yeah.
like before you leave.
Mhm.
It doesn't, it's grown on me. I I'm like, you know what? Okay. All
Was
right.
that the biggest was that the biggest surprise for you when you first started? Like the actual you mentioned how nice people are. Was that a shock to you when you first
I
joined?
think just how invested people are in the group doing well. And I do like my doctoral program was very much about collaboration versus competition.
Okay.
So we were all in it to help each other like finish.
Yeah.
It's like what can we do for each other to learn from each other, support each other, and get us all to the finish line. And I've
Mm.
always
Okay.
valued that over. Well, we already talked about how I'm not competitive.
Yeah.
So that's why, like CrossFit and the way it seems to be designed. Again, I've only been to this one gym, but
Yeah.
it's from one of my coworkers said a very similar vibe. It's just meant to be like, yeah, wherever you are, you're doing stuff, and that's great. People are
Yeah.
super supportive. They want each other to do well. Um, it really is, and I kind of and I so I understand why it gets the um cult branding because it does draw you in, but also like that environment should be drawing people in. Like that should be, I mean, unless you get drawn in and you get hurt or you take things too far. But I mean that's why they push form being so good. I still hate cleans. I can't. I and I don't even know. I don't need to go on that rant. I just hate them.
The
But anyway,
functionality of a clean. I was thinking about it because I saw you said that, and I was thinking about it, and I have an answer for you if you'd like to hear it
no, I'd
of
love
when
to.
you next.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm gonna hate whatever you say, but go ahead.
So and it was just because I was just on a plane yesterday. So not that it'll ever be anything as heavy as what you may or may not end up lifting on the bar. But if you think about you need to put your luggage if you're flying into the overhead compartment, well,
Okay.
you want to make sure that you can get that thing from the floor to your shoulders up overhead. That's essentially a clean and jerk. So from a functionality perspective, when you're
Yes, but
thinking
the
about getting
elbows being like this, you're not doing that with your luggage.
you're not doing that, but that's because it's a barbell and the position of the barbell resting on your
Oh,
shoulder. So if you ever did it clean with a sandbag, that's a little bit closer.
I have actually.
Yeah, there you
They
go. And so
have.
it's
Well,
and so it's
yeah.
less about like, hey, am I ever going to end up in this position, but more about do I know what to do with my body if I need to take a heavy object from the ground and take it and put it up over something, right? And if we're doing that with a barbell, right, the best way to do that is going to be to end up putting it here. But not
Okay.
many times you're going to walk around and find something that's the exact diameter and shape of a barbell, right?
Well, and also like, what's the one where you start, but then you go straight up top?
Oh, snatch.
Yeah, that I get.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
That
I
one,
feel
I'm
like
like,
that's
that makes sense to me, and it's also like kind of fun. It's like a little jump. I have weird things about this is getting to my OCD, and I told the coach this, and he was like, "Well, we'll fix that." I'm like, "Sure." Over
out.
30 years, like I have the front of my neck is such a sensitive area to me. Like I've gotten better, but I had a lot of like fears and anxiety around that as like a vulnerable spot for me. So flipping a heavy
Uh,
bar towards my like neck area, I don't love it.
that's
Um,
fair. That's fair.
so I just, I try the cleans. They look like garbage.
Yeah.
And then he looks at me and he's like, "How about your form?" And I was like, "You know how this is gonna go." Um, but I still try. I mean, we did front squats the other day, and I thought about doing this, but then
Yeah.
I was like, I'll probably be okay. I just did less weight.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So I'm
How
like,
much
I'll
do you
do less weight.
how much do you love thrusters then?
I don't
Have
think
you
I
done
have to do
thrusters?
those yet. I'm going to be honest with you
You
because,
haven't. Oh, okay.
well, so I go 3 times a week, and I don't know if there's like a certain pattern to what days they do when, because some of the people that go every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
You're like, ooh,
Well,
really?
it's also like that would really eat into like my family time too. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, but like come home. I mean, it's an hour long, and I already commute from where I teach, so like it's already be me getting home late. To do that every weekday
Yeah.
would be a little rough for me. But so I don't think. I mean, unless I've done thrusters and didn't know the name of it, but it doesn't sound good.
Well, I'll let you find those out the next time you go to class. You can message me first time you do a thruster and
All right,
let me know how that goes.
I'll just scale it. I don't care. I know that word now.
Yeah,
That
there
was
you go,
it.
and it's word. So, and I want to hit on something that you mentioned too because I think it's a really good point, right? Like the idea that you can be in the same class with such a wide variety of skill set of
Yeah.
people. Everybody's doing the same workout. That's something. So all the coaches, I'm not sure how familiar. Maybe you've heard these terms, but all the anyone that's coaching in a CrossFit gym has to be certified, at least a level 1 certified coach. And there's 4 different levels. In the level 1, one of the things they tell us that the workouts in CrossFit, the phrase we use is they vary by degree, not kind, which means that it could be you, me, Tia Claire Toomey, who's won the CrossFit Games 7 times, and my grandma, all in
Yeah.
class together. There will be one workout that all 4 of us will do, but the way each of us are going to end up executing that workout is going to be very different, and it's to achieve the same stimulus, right? So we're all going to ideally all feel somewhat kind of the same at the end of that workout
Yeah.
based off of the way we choose it, right? And that's the beauty of it, is that it's like, yep, nobody's going to, if we have, if there's pull-ups you mentioned, right? It's not going to be like, well, you can't do pull-ups. Guess we don't have anything for you. Like, that's not the approach, right? It's like, okay, we're going to find something that mimics the pull-up, that mimics something in an upper body pull that gets you the same benefit and outcome and stimulus as anybody else that either can do pull-ups or is on their own separate type of scale based off of where they are, right? And that's the beauty of it. So that way we can all share in the experience of suffering through that workout together, and everybody can kind of come out the other side knowing, okay, we all did it and it looked a little bit different, but we all know exactly what that felt like. And that I think is a big beauty of it. And where the fist bumps come in, it's like, hey, you did it too. I know you did it too. To come
What
full
if I
circle.
started initiating fist bumps? What if I started doing it with other members?
You know what you need to do? You need to do it. You need to get aggressive with it and do it like before class starts. Just run in, right? Like they're announcing the lineups at a basketball game. You just run through class like, all right, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. Let's go. Whiteboard time. That's not going to happen. Okay. So
I don't know.
So I got a couple more questions for you. And there's one thing that you mentioned a few times in your reels and it was a common theme. So I was curious where it came from. You mentioned, well, you've mentioned it in kind of in a joking way, but I kind of have a serious question about it. So you mentioned like you want to be strong for your community.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned like, hey, if it's running or climbing, that ain't it. Like, yeah. So I'm curious. You mentioned that a few times. Where does that thought come from? And also, I guess 2-part question: where does the thought come from? And then 2, who is the community to you?
So I don't know how deep you want me to get into it, but over the
Go
years,
for it.
I do have Instagram, and I know that I I post reels on there. My original account that I kind of, for lack of better wording, like blew up on was TikTok. So,
Okay.
and through that app, I just became like, I had access to so much like free education about community organizing, about anti-racism, about what does it mean to be a part of your community, to know what's going on locally. And even when you get into like I don't have to get that deep because I know this is like, I don't want to take your podcast in a direction that makes you feel uncomfortable, but like, if you're looking at things politically and you're looking to have an influence, like it all starts at the community level, which then just got me thinking about like, well, do I actually know my community? Because I commute for my job. So I'm very involved in the community I teach in. It also happens to be the community I grew up in. So I have a lot of roots. I know the kids, I go to their games, but then I look at the community that I directly live in, and I don't have as many roots. And part of that is because, for work I travel, and, we moved here later and we didn't really know anyone in the area. So I started looking at, what else it connects to too, is that I've always thought about, not that I think the zombie apocalypse is going to happen, but that if it does, like, what am I contributing? Because it's like, there's not, I love my husband, we have a great family. We're very happy. We can't do a lot ourselves. We're outsourcing a lot of tasks, which is fine. I'm happy to support local entrepreneurs to do anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe I could, start learning more stuff that is beyond, teaching. So I have a coworker who is he's also a science teacher, really into gardening. I kill everything. So, but I was like, I still want to learn. So I had him come over and teach my daughter and I how to build a raised garden bed. And he was with us because I really had no idea what was happening. So we built it, and then he brought all this like really good soil, and I was like, we're just gonna have a garden. And I knew it was like, some of the stuff I'm growing I don't even eat.
Yeah.
So like, but I was like, I want to actually like talk to people, and like maybe I could give my neighbors like our surplus of vegetables, and that's like a conversation starter. Like I just started thinking like, what am I giving back? I also started helping out a local food bank, and most of the help they need is on days they pack boxes for the older members of our community. So it's basically just one giant assembly line. So it's a lot of physical work. So I guess my mindset was, if I want to be what I can for the community, not just what can I get out of the community, but like, what am I giving back or contributing? I want to have as many options to contribute as possible. So if I have a neighbor that's moving, like, I want to be able to help them like lift stuff to move it. By just basically, and I made a comment, but I kind of meant it. I was trying to diversify the ways I could help people. Not that physical is, superior in a way to anything else, but I just wanted to have more options. Like if this is a need that our community has, I want to check more boxes to fill those needs.
Yes.
So, this makes me sound, I mean, I also just like enjoy going, and I like being strong. It's not all, oh, I'm such a good person. It's not all altruistic. You know what I mean? But that kind of was like part of my motivation, because, I can sit and I can feel guilty. I can feel overwhelmed by things that are happening in this world. And, I can't attack everything that's going on globally as much as I want to. So what do I have within my power? Well, I have, the abilities of my own body, or the strength of my own body is within my power to adjust. So I guess in a way it's just trying to, what can I do? What is within me that I can do to try and make the world a more communal and like friendly place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like I don't know if that was like too vague, but like that's kind of.
No, not at all. I think you mentioned it in there too, right? Is like, if that's the kind of, call it big why motivation, right? Having the strength and the physical capacity, and like exactly like you said, right? Not that that's superior to anything else, but if having that and improving that for yourself improves your ability to achieve that motivation, right? Not that it's necessarily going to be quote unquote achieved, right? But if it gives you more options to be able to help more people within your community, locally, or if it were to expand further than that, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're searching for. If I wanted to try to summarize it, right? You tell me if this is a fair summary. You don't want to be in a position where there's an opportunity to help someone and you're like, I can't physically do that.
Right.
Right. Not that not that you have to go do all of the opportunities, but you don't want to be limited by, I am not physically capable to do that.
Yeah. I don't want to which again, I'm not trying to say that people who aren't physically able to do something are somehow not giving enough, or that if you're not doing this with your body, you're not doing it right. I just, for myself, I was like, why not, like I said, check as many boxes as I can, to be able to, that if something becomes available in a way for me to, I'll be ready for it. I just want to be ready.
Yeah.
To do whatever.
I think that's such a great frame, because there might be somebody listening to this, and you mentioned, right, one of the other episodes that I've had people talking about the motivation of their kids, and even you've mentioned that in this episode too, right? Just in this conversation is the motivation to be there for your family, right? And having some sort of there. I guess my point is there may be somebody listening to this that's in a similar position, thinking, man, there's a lot that I want to be able to do to help other people. And maybe they have some sort of limiting factor, whether it's physical, whether it's something else, whatever the case is. But they might hear your story and hear the way you frame that, and that you decided, okay, I'm going to take action on this to be able to do it, to make sure that I'm not in a position where I am not able to take advantage of helping helping someone, or taking an opportunity to help someone else.
Yeah.
And that may help them take action too.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome that you have that perspective, because something like that, as opposed to well, I don't want to compare motivations necessarily, but I think having a motivation like that that's outside of yourself, right, is going to really set you up and help you keep coming back for the long term.
Well, and I think, and if people are feeling powerless, that it's a way that you can, every day that I go, I feel better. I feel like I can do more, although my calves right now are very upset because the fake pull-ups I did, I think I was putting more energy into the jumping than my actual, I don't know if my arms were doing anything. I think it was just my calves, because they've been very upset. Today they're a little bit better, so I think it's gonna be fine, but they were not happy. It's just a way to, feel some control in it. And I will say, it's been, I don't know, maybe a month now. Yeah, maybe 5 weeks. If I've been going 3 times a week. I feel pretty significantly stronger. I definitely know my stamina is up. My endurance to do things is up. And that was important to me too. Because left to my own devices, I just love to rot, because it's fun. So it's really been a really fantastic addition to my life overall.
Yeah.
And I really was surprised at how much I liked it. You mentioned before about it being different degrees to people. And I know I made the joke in my one video about it being parallel play. Which, if you know little kids, or if people listening are early childhoods, the idea that developmentally, kids will just play around each other. And then it's now for people that, I'm not diagnosed with ADHD, but I do check a lot of the boxes. My husband is diagnosed. Body doubling or being around people that are doing the same thing can be very motivating. I think what I like about CrossFit more is that we're not, and this is different than the weight training classes I did. We're not all, well, one, they're lapping me left and right. Whatever it is, I know I'm already woo, 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 and that's, but I love that because none of us are at the same pace.
Yeah.
Which I love, because I don't feel pressured to be at a certain pace. And the coaches are always like, just get done whatever you can get done.
Mm.
So each time I've been getting more done in the allotted time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's just great. And like for mentally, it's just better. I'm really excited to see. I can't wait for fall and winter, though. I'll tell you that. I'm actually
Once it
glad
starts to
I
cool down.
started now. Compared to this, it's going to feel like a dream. They're like, it gets cold. My body is built for like peasant English winters. Like genetically, I should be like pushing a plow probably through snow, which I think agriculture wise doesn't even make sense. But like that is what I'm made for. So I'm just so excited for winter.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be living my best life.
Yeah, especially as opposed to if you had started in the winter or the fall or the spring, and then
I
now
would
you
be,
get to summer, you're like, oh, no, thank
now
you.
it's like captured by fire because I'm like, this is actually, if I can make it through this,
Yeah, you're good.
I can do anything.
Awesome. I have one more question, and this
Yeah.
I like to call it the time machine question, right? So, say we have magic wand, time machine, and you get to go back in time to a younger version of yourself. And we've talked about a few iterations of yourself in the past where you've kind of had, challenges that look different at different points in time, right? So you can kind of picture whichever one of those, whether it's when you were in high school and kind of having the binging, when you initially got started taking the Zoloft, right? You can talk about like, the Weight Watchers version of you, right? I'll kind of let you think about which one you think resonates most with you. But let's say, you get 5 minutes with a younger version of yourself and they say, hey, I'm having a tough time, but I heard about this thing called CrossFit. And and it seems interesting, but it also seems like it might be a little crazy. I'm not totally sure, but I need to do something different. Do you have any advice for me? And you get a few minutes to talk to a younger version of yourself and talk them through why CrossFit may be a good idea for them to try out. What are you telling yourself?
I think that it would have been the time that I would have needed it the most,
Mm.
probably would have been maybe when my daughter was like about 1.
Mm.
So like 1 year postpartum is probably the time in my life when I had the most like hate for my body. I don't want to get, well, I might cry, just prepare yourself. But anyway, do I have to pretend like I'm talking to her? I don't know if I can do that. It might just be telling you what I would say to her. I can.
Whichever one feels more comfortable to you, whichever one you feel like is more genuine, I'll let you I'll let you play around with the situation, right? If it feels more comfortable to talk directly, like you're talking directly to her, then go for it.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Um, I think what I would say to her, knowing where she is, um, that it's something that is wrapped in a lot of positivity. So you don't have to be scared that there are different ages, different levels, even within one class. That there are things within your power that the way you feel about your body is not your fault. There's been too much ingrained in you to make you feel any different, but that there's nothing about this feeling that is permanent, that you can actually get to a point where you not only don't hate your body, but you're proud of what it can do, and it's something that you'll actually stick with as well, because I know you've done things in the past that you haven't always stuck with. Um, but this is something that you'll not hate, surprisingly. Um, and that it's doable because you can do it at your own pace. I'd like to think me at that time would have been okay with trying it, but it would have been really scary, but I think it would have been probably pretty significantly life-changing. Just to feel like something would have been within my power to make me feel better. Because at that point, I felt like there was nothing that I never felt less like myself than during that time. I would also tell myself at that time that you have done a really good job of not showing your daughter that anxiety and not letting her see how you felt about her body. And I'm really proud of her because she knew that that was something she didn't want to pass on. So, I mean, at the time, my kid was like 1, so not a lot was getting in about that, but it was still something that, like, you know, me at that time made myself take pictures with my daughter, even though I hated having pictures taken, because I didn't want her to not have those later on. Want my insecurities to make her miss out on stuff that, so I think, I mean, if I'm allowed to tell her about the future, you can, all of this is doable, even though you didn't do any sports. I mean, the YMCA.
You did some. You did some.
A light smattering of sports. But it's actually more doable than you think. Although I do, side note out of this scenario, I do wonder though if that version of me, because I had the weight training to go into CrossFit with, so I had some comfort.
Okay.
There might have needed to be like a baby step. Before that, I might have been okay. I mean, at that point, I think if anything I tried would have been a pretty big benefit.
Yeah. But, just hearing how you shared that advice, which thank you for that, by the way. I think, hopefully, because I'll put this on YouTube, so hopefully people may watch this. And I think if they watch this, they will see the level of genuineness. That's probably not a word. Genuinity, whatever. The level of genuineness that you brought to that answer. And there was something there. There was some reason. Physical aside, like you said, if you had the weight training piece already, okay, cool. So maybe there's a little bit of easier transfer of like you're already comfortable with some weights going into CrossFit. But none of that answer was about, hey, make sure you focus on your technique. That was all about, between the ears of like you're capable.
Yeah.
Right. And so thank you for sharing that, because I think we could all tell and hear that was a vulnerable time for you in the past. And so now looking back with all the experience that you've gained along the way up until now, and even just, a short period of time in a CrossFit gym, right? To be able to take that and go, hypothetically go back and sit with yourself, and that was the advice that you'd give. I think that's an incredible answer, and I commend you for thinking through it and sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're like, all right. So, wow, that's a great note to wrap up on. Hopefully, if there's somebody out there that's in a similar situation, right? Maybe they're hearing this and they feel like they're in a similar spot and they hear those words. I hope that they take that to heart and find their local affiliate just like you did, right?
Yeah.
And take action on it. So, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to, follow along with your journey?
Yeah, if you want tips and tricks, this is not the place to go. If you want to watch someone vent about the good and the bad, I'm on TikTok and Instagram. Win_nerds_teach is what I go by. I don't post. I'm also lazy, so I don't post that often. But I try to post after each workout just because I think it's funny to watch me be like out of breath. but yeah, I mean, they can always ask me for anything. I'm pretty open. There's not much that I wouldn't, if they resonate and they want to talk through stuff, like I'm happy to do that. I'm not the best at always answering very quickly. So no, but they, um, I mean, I love talking to people about this kind of stuff. And I think if you're a teacher, I think too, like with decision fatigue, I think going to, a workout where they just tell you what to do is honestly really relaxing. Like you don't have to plan anything. So that's a real selling point to me.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much. I appreciate it. And unless you got anything else, that's it. We're done here.
Thank you. Now I just got to get ready
Sweet.
for class.
Get ready to go to class. Yeah, same here. Get up there in a little bit. Got to brave this Phoenix heat, just like you're going to do in up in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to. So.
Hey, but remember, it's a dry heat. Okay, so. All right. Thank you again. Thank you to everybody listening. Go follow her at when_nerds_teach. And Doctor, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing with a friend. To get notified of future episodes, please follow the show on your favorite podcast app so you can continue to hear these stories. For more behind-the-scenes content of everyday CrossFitters, follow on YouTube and Instagram at Silverback Media. Until next time, this has been the Silverback Media Podcast.